She also brought us Dr. Oz and The Secret. We have to remember what this lady has done.
She has to be held accountable.
I forgive her, but I mean, cut the shit. The Secret is a particularly egregious offense.
What, you don't believe? You don't believe?
Believe?
I want to be rich. I am rich.
I imagine myself flying. I can fly. I will beat my wings until I take off.
Her schoolgirl affectations and body movements. Like, okay, ready? Here it is. Like, okay. She raises herself off her chair. Like, I'm just really excited. I'm really excited about this. Okay.
You're so right.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something you haven't heard yet.
Yeah.
I'm going to blow your mind.
Okay. Right, like that.
Right.
Joe Rogan and Megyn Kelly just shook the image Oprah Winfrey spent years building. Rogan went straight at the feel-good self-help brand with no filter, while Kelly broke down what she saw as carefully crafted performances, polished storytelling, and wisdom designed more for show than for substance. Piece by piece, the image started to crack. This wasn't just another celebrity debate or viral headline. It felt more like a deep look behind the curtain at someone many people thought could never be questioned. And for a lot of viewers, it completely changed the conversation.
Oprah is no longer in the business of staying up on the news. She's reading undoubtedly from blue cards her staff gave her. That's how the Oprah Winfrey Show was shot. Oprah didn't have to think of her own questions. It was all impromptu or on a blue card for Oprah. She doesn't know she's not making big news with this revelation. She said she'll sign the same shitty so-called border bill that they rejected the last time because it would let 5,000 illegals over the border a day.
Yeah. Disturbing, but it was confusing when that was taking hold with people. When I had friends that were telling me that The Secret is real and that they imagined they were going to fulfill these childhood dreams that they had about whatever, being a whatever it would be. There's a couple people that I knew that were trying to tell me that The Secret was going to be the thing and that they had a vision board and they had photographs. They put pictures up of the things that they wanted, like them in front of large crowds and shit. I'm like, oh boy.
Them in front of large crowds.
This is so not how it works.
Joe Rogan wasted no time at all. The moment Oprah Winfrey's name came up, he grabbed the microphone like someone ready to put the whole story on trial. He wasn't there to joke around or play nice. He came in ready to tear apart what he saw as one of the biggest media images ever created. A woman who spent years turning motivation, self-help, and personal growth into a polished brand, then selling that image back to millions as something life-changing.
Time with the sex podcaster instead. She thought
call the ambulance or whatever it's
the
called.
woman who was talking about
call the daddy
how
about
to
the
use
ambulance.
dildos a week earlier.
Don't stop insulting her. That sounds
Did
like...
you see the Oprah interview?
No.
She's off the rails.
Yeah,
Off the rails.
I heard about it.
Into fucking wine mom country again.
Wow.
I'm a gun owner. Tim Walz is a gun.
I did not know that.
If somebody breaks in my house, they're getting shot.
Yes, I hear that.
Tim Dillon is the best. Tim Dillon's like, she's saying gypsy curses. What is she saying?
If you're enjoying the video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Joe Rogan didn't hold back for even a second. He jumped straight into the criticism, describing the Oprah machine as one of the most profitable influence systems ever created. In his eyes, Oprah Winfrey doesn't just recommend books, she turns them into instant life manuals. She doesn't just invite people onto her platform, she elevates them into larger-than-life figures. The moment Oprah backs someone publicly, their career suddenly takes off in a way that feels almost impossible to explain. Rogan argued that it goes way beyond ordinary celebrity influence. To him, it looks far more strategic, far more polished, and far more powerful than most people realize.
So we have got to talk about the failure of the celebrity. Oprah Winfrey, you have no power. You do not have any control over this electorate. Neither do you, J-Lo. Let's take a look at Oprah's final closing message on the campaign trail.
We don't get to sit this one out.
Joe Rogan took direct aim at Oprah Winfrey's transformation from daytime talk show icon to billionaire voice of spiritual wisdom. To him, the whole thing felt almost too over-the-top to believe. According to Rogan, peace of mind always seems to come with another expensive course, another exclusive workshop, or another carefully branded product line. Want inner peace? Just sign up for the 14-part masterclass. Order the premium incense kit and wrap yourself in a blanket designed to reflect your spiritual journey. Real happiness is apparently right around the corner, as long as your credit card still works and you're ready to pay the shipping costs too.
Yeah. This is the best she can do, by the way. When they give her the talking points in advance, when they say, we're going to have a girl stand up, that poor girl who talks about her childhood sexual abuse. And what does Kamala do? Oprah, I don't know if you've heard this story, but you know, when I was in high school, my best friend was being sexually abused by her stepfather. And I said, we've heard this story so many times. And it makes me crazy because she is using this poor woman's sexual abuse as a valorization of herself.
Joe Rogan then turned his attention to what he sees as one of the biggest contradictions in modern media: Oprah Winfrey's carefully protected image as someone who still relates to everyday struggle. He joked that she talks about hardship with so much passion, you could almost forget she's speaking from inside a massive estate worth millions of dollars. Rogan pointed out what he viewed as the huge disconnect between promoting simple living and doing it from a lifestyle so luxurious that even celebrities and royalty would struggle to compete with it.
Bro, you remember the time Oprah had that lady on, his face bit off by the chimp? And she showed her face on TV?
Oh, yeah.
Miraculously, she survived just the unimaginable. Her name is Charla Nash. Charla almost always covers her face with the hat and scarf. She wears it, she says, because she doesn't want to scare people.
The lady was wearing a veil over her face, like, let's see your face, come on. She pulls the veil away.
Like a Nope?
What are you doing?
Would you mind lifting the veil? Oh, no. So we can see. You could take the hat off. Oh, the hat comes off. Yep. Okay. All right.
Joe Rogan also went after the spiritual side of the Oprah brand. He argued that Oprah Winfrey doesn't just sell advice, she packages it in a way that makes ordinary ideas feel deep and life-changing. The soft lighting, emotional music, and dramatic presentation all help simple messages sound more powerful than they really were. Rogan compared it to emotional fast food, something that feels good in the moment but leaves little behind afterward. He also pointed out what he saw as hypocrisy, promoting gratitude and humility while building a massive luxury brand at the same time. In the end, he described the show as less like real therapy and more like a polished emotional experience designed for television.
All I feel is insulted. My intelligence is insulted. I'm bored by you. I'm offended by you. And you know, the thing is, it almost makes me think of Oprah. So Oprah actually was full of profundities when she did that show. You know, I realize I have different feelings about her today too, when she's gone political. But back in the day, you know, when I was young in law school and you turn on the Oprah Winfrey show, you would hear something that would give you, oh, that's good. That's good. Like something, she's the one we got aha moment from. You know, she had these little catchphrases where you're like, oh yeah, that's something to think about. And her team would set it to music, you know, and they'd slow down the interaction. They put in slow-mo, like her hug with a firefighter or something.
While Joe Rogan was breaking down the spectacle, Megyn Kelly came in from a different angle entirely. No jokes, no theatrics, just sharp, direct criticism. She went straight to the core of Oprah Winfrey's public image, especially the idea that she speaks for everyday people. Kelly pointed to the disconnect, arguing that someone living at that level of privilege is far removed from ordinary life and its struggles. In her view, Oprah no longer mirrors her audience. She reflects an idealized version of them, polished and carefully curated. Kelly also questioned the activism side of the brand, saying the speeches, causes, and emotional messages often feel more like image management than real-world change. From her perspective, delivering messages about fairness and equality from a highly insulated luxury environment turns advocacy into something closer to presentation than action.
The pretend laughing is so, like Oprah's pretending to laugh. And by the way, can I just say, I'll let you finish your point on the gun, but the Oprah affect is done. It's so over. Her fake, like, I did not know that, right? Like she's leaning into this like homegirl, like, what? I learned something. And her yelling, she yelled at us all night. Oprah was yelling. I'll show it to you in a second. You take up the...
Then Megyn Kelly turned to the money side of the story, the part people often ignore. She argued that Oprah Winfrey didn't just promote inspiration, she built a system around it, where endorsements, product features, and guest appearances all feed into a massive commercial engine. Kelly asked a blunt question. At what point did helping people become less important than expanding the empire? She also targeted the book club, calling it a powerful gatekeeping force over what millions consider worth reading. Get Oprah's approval, and a book takes off. Miss it, and it barely gets noticed. In her view, that isn't just influence, It's market power wrapped in the language of taste and inspiration. Kelly's final point was the most uncomfortable. When a brand is built on emotion, moral authority, and tightly controlled storytelling, she argued, it becomes very hard to challenge from the outside. And once scrutiny fades, she warned, real growth ends, and what's left is performance.
Yeah.
And they boiled it down to the easiest one, which is dreaming.
Right, exactly.
And that's why it's sold. But Oprah sold it. I mean, she was one of the big ones, man.
She was all in.
She was fucking 50 years old at the time. I mean, this is not a young woman who is selling this. How old is Oprah now?
75?
89?
Joe Rogan came back swinging, focusing on Oprah Winfrey's long history of platforming wellness figures whose main credentials often looked like confidence and the ability to sell vague advice. He called her show an early pipeline into pop psychology, where complex human struggles get simplified into breathing exercises, inspirational quotes, and polished, sponsored segments. His argument was blunt. When an entire empire runs on emotional reaction with little real-world grounding, it stops being personal development and becomes highly produced feelings, like handing someone decorative lighting during a blackout. He also pointed to her political influence, saying endorsements carried the same theatrical polish as everything else in her brand, more about narrative fit than substance. While Megyn Kelly added that the real issue was strategic silence, arguing that moments Oprah chooses not to speak often reveal more than her public statements, ultimately challenging the relatable every woman image by suggesting that at that level of power and influence, she is no longer outside the system, but fully part of it.
I used to love Oprah, like most of us who grew up when we did. And only now did I realize I've been getting spoon-fed propaganda from this woman for years. I always took her little setup packages as gospel. You know, before I was a reporter, I never even thought to question whether Oprah might be intentionally misleading me. Then last night, the dawn came and I was like, oh my God, she is not a reporter. She's a propagandist. She's trying to shove messaging down my throat of whatever she...
Megyn Kelly zoomed out and looked at the bigger picture, arguing that decades of Oprah-style media have shaped a culture where emotional validation often replaces real action, or how something feels matters more than whether it actually works, and where personal responsibility gets softened under layers of constant affirmation. In her view, the Oprah effect didn't free people so much as make them dependent on the next wave of inspiration. Meanwhile, Joe Rogan approached the wellness side with a more amused tone, pointing out the contradiction of someone who publicly struggled with weight and body image for decades, eventually becoming a trusted voice in health and self-improvement, a journey marked by diet programs, emotional confessions, relapses, reinventions, and new product launches that seem to follow each chapter. He called it a long-running wellness narrative with high engagement, but no real resolution, noting the pattern of be-yourself messaging paired with subscription programs and transformation products, and arguing that when the same system profits from both insecurity and its cure, the message becomes hard to take at face value. Megyn Kelly brought the tone back to consequences, stressing that ideas broadcast to millions without real scrutiny don't just fall flat, they can quietly mislead people who deserve clearer, more honest guidance.
Because there was a story I was reading about Oprah, unfortunately, where this woman had terminal cancer.
Right. And
she had stage 3 breast cancer and just decided that through The Secret, she was going to imagine herself a healthy person.
Yeah.
And then, she eventually wound up dying from it because she didn't get treatment.
Megyn Kelly's closing argument was sharp and direct. Cultural influence without accountability is not a gift, it's a liability. In her view, Oprah Winfrey has long been insulated from real pushback, where mistakes are quietly replaced by the next launch. Contradictions are softened with image management, and nothing ever really faces consequences. Joe Rogan added a final thought, imagining what happens if Oprah steps away entirely, arguing that much of the self-help ecosystem built around her could lose its center of gravity, leaving behind a wave of coaches and creators repeating the same ideas without depth or grounding. To him, it has become an industry of style over substance. Kelly brought it back to nuance, saying the point was never personal. It was about believing that no public figure should exist beyond honest scrutiny, no matter how influential they are. Together, they framed a broader idea. When influence becomes too protected, truth gets harder to reach. and even the most polished narratives start to show cracks, especially as audiences grow more aware of the difference between real insight and carefully produced authenticity.